Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Andrew's Awesome Carcast. I'm Andrew Francis as always, and let's just roll right into it. So, first thing I want to talk about today, as recording this, is Friday, April 12th, and the first teaser for Star Wars has dropped. Star Wars, what was it? The Last Skywalker, or whatever the fuck it was. The Rise of Skywalker. I don't fucking remember. I just remember Star Wars. I watched it. I was hyped. Anyways. So yeah. I mean, I've always been a big Star Wars fan my whole life. I've loved pretty much every movie except the prequels. Although I do confess, when I watched them as a kid, I loved them just because, you know, it was my Star Wars. You know, the original 3 came out long before I was born. Then the prequel 3 came out, and I remember loving them as kids. You know, I was like, hey, I get Star Wars. And also, I didn't, you know, I was younger, I didn't know any better. But looking back on them, they don't hold up at all. But yeah, so like, I loved The Force Awakens. I loved The Last Jedi. And so far, from what I saw in the trailer, this looks very promising. I'm probably gonna love this. Can't wait for it come Christmas. So yeah, so breaking that down. So first thing we see is we get that shot of Rey in the desert or on some desert planet, whatever you want to call that. And immediately to me, that was very reminiscent of the very first image we saw in the teaser trailer for The Force Awakens, which was, you know, remember we get that shot and we get that desert sand shot, and then we had John Boyega pop up, you know, heavily breathing and not knowing what's going on. And so we get this first shot of just Rey in the desert, quiet, breathing, don't really know what's going on. Very interesting. Like right off the bat, I noticed that right off the bat, and I was like, oh yes. I was like, oh yes, because that means like getting ahead of myself, excited. Because to me, that just shows the care that they're going to be taking with this movie to really bring the story around full circle, you know, to tell a complete and full story. Because I very, very much think that was done intentionally. You know, it's a whole bring it around full circle thing. Like I said, it's like, hey, you know, this is how we started it. So now, you know, here's a callback to the end. So right off the bat, for me, insta hype. Next, we get that cool shot off in the distance of what we don't know. We know you see some coming off in the distance, you don't exactly know what. Later on, we see that it's a TIE fighter that's most likely being piloted by Kylo Ren. You know, like we get that shot, we get that cockpit shot of like the gloves tightening on the controls, and it looks very much like it's gonna be him. I mean, again, we don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's him. Like, so it looks like they're setting up some sort of final showdown between Kylo and Rey, if I were to guess, you know. So that to me is interesting, because based off of The Last Jedi, I thought they were gonna possibly go more towards the route of a redemption story for Kylo Ren, you know, like Rey converts him. But that scene gave off the vibes of, no, there can be only one kind of thing, you know, like they're gonna have it out, and I'm gonna guess Rey's gonna kill him. I mean, I don't really see it ending other way than that, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited for it. But yeah, so then within that whole sequence, you know, the trailer jumps around, of course, but I'm like, for the part we see of her in the desert with the TIE fighter. So yeah, like I said, so we get a shot of Rey, see the thing in the distance come in, you know, it's Kylo Ren's TIE fighter. Then she starts sprinting the other way as the TIE fighter gets closer, which is weird, in my opinion, because so sprinting, and then as the TIE fighter it looks like Kylo Ren's trying to run her over with a TIE fighter, which is awesome. Like, it's really cool to see a TIE fighter not in space, you know, like around planet, and that lower to the ground, like he's masterfully piloting that thing. Oh, and so yeah, it's like, it looks like he's trying to just run his TIE fighter into her. So she starts sprinting the other way and does this badass flip over. What is either going to be over it or possibly land on, I don't know. Either way, she flips up into the air. And it was just weird to me that she starts running the other way. Like, I get that she, she has force powers and whatnot, a whole different universe, but I just don't get the logic of why run the other way to flip, because then, to then flip back. Like, wouldn't it make more sense to run towards the thing you're jumping over, momentum-wise? Again, I know you have force powers and whatnot, but then, so if that doesn't matter, if the momentum doesn't matter, why not just then stand still and conserve energy, and then when he's about to hit you, just flip over? But whatever, it's fine. That was just something I was thinking about. But then the other key thing from that sequence, and they show it, they keep the camera on it for a while, so how can you not see it, is that Rey is holding Luke's blue lightsaber. Like, she's gotten it back, which that's gonna be fun too. Because if you remember in The Last Jedi, the way that movie ended is she and Kylo Ren get into a force battle over that lightsaber. They're in the throne room. They've just beaten all those red guards and the Supreme Leader, and they're both trying to get that. They're both trying to get that lightsaber. And it's suspended in midair, and they're both trying to force grab it, and they break it, they destroy it. But here we see Rey has it, and it seems to be fully repaired. And that's something I wouldn't have called, because I guess I'd have to go back and watch just to be 100% sure. But from what I remember, after that scene in Throne where they both break it, neither of them particularly picked up the pieces, again, that I can recall. They did that. They did that, and then Rey left to go join everyone else back on the planet, to go back on the planet's surface. I forget what planet it was, but it was, they were running from the First Order. And then Kylo Ren, Kylo Ren had that little scene with Domhnall Gleeson, choked him out, who's your daddy kind of things, long live the Supreme Leader's dead, long live the Supreme Leader. And yeah, I don't particularly remember either of them picking up the pieces, which would mean the pieces stayed on a First Order ship. So if anyone would have that lightsaber, it would be Kylo Ren. So to see it in one piece and Rey holding it, that's interesting. I wonder if that's actually going to be addressed in some way, or if they're just going to straight give it to her and expect the audience not to question it. Because I'm already questioning it. Because Rey wants it because it's Luke's lightsaber. Luke, her. I was gonna say Luke's her master, kind of, but I don't know. She only knew the dude for a week, but I guess so. Because I was gonna say, I guess Luke Skywalker only knew Obi-Wan for a week, but no, he knew him the whole time. He just never knew he was a Jedi. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I would qualify Luke as her master, but I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so yeah, Rey would want the lightsaber because it's Luke's, and Kylo wants it because it used to be Anakin's, and Kylo Ren idolizes Darth Vader, so that's why he would want it. So yeah, I don't foresee, if the pieces were left there on the First Order ship, I foresee him, taking it and possibly fixing it. So maybe he took it and fixed it, and Rey steals it from him at some point in the movie. I don't know. We're gonna see. But yeah, so then we do see Kylo, because maybe Kylo has at some point, like I said, maybe he has to get taken away, but we do see a shot of Kylo Ren, possibly my favorite shot of this whole trailer. It's either gotta be this or the Rey flipping over the TIE Fighter thing, because they slowed that down so much you get a good shot of Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. It looks badass. Anyways, so you get a shot of Kylo Ren fighting some sort of battle. Don't really know where, but then he has his lightsaber. The lightsaber with the cross guard, and we see him just he's charging towards someone, and he just one arm, he jams the cross guard of the lightsaber into their chest, and kind of just one arm picks them up and slams them down just like a beast. Oh, it's awesome. So we see he has his lightsaber. So, like I said, I don't know if maybe he has the, Luke's blue one to begin with, or what. I don't know. I'm sure all will be revealed once we see the movie at Christmas time. So, then the other cool thing I saw with Kylo Ren was he does appear to be fixing his helmet, because in The Last Jedi he has that scene with the Supreme Leader where the Supreme Leader is like, take off that stupid mask, and he takes it off and he insults and berates him, and then Kylo Ren's in an elevator and like still holding his mask, and he's pissed off, and so he slams it numerous times into the wall and breaks it. But we get this shot in this trailer where we see, I'm gonna assume it's him, maybe it's someone else or a robot, I don't know, but we see a pair of hands welding cracks in his helmet, like he's fixing it. So it looks like he's gonna be getting that back. I don't know how I mean, from what I remember, the way he broke it in, I mean, really you can do whatever the hell you want with it, because I mean, no one's gonna pay that close attention. But from what I remember in The Last Jedi, like, he broke it pretty good. It wasn't just like he knocked a good chunk off or, nicked it or anything like that. From what I remember, he broke it into some small pieces. So if that's the case, if it's gonna be like a whole bunch of tiny little pieces welded together, like where you see all those crack lines and whatnot, that might look cool. I don't know how it'll look with just like a few here and there, like a few large welding cuts. I don't know. I thought his helmet looked badass, just like normal, clean. The way he had it in Force Awakens. So we'll see what they want to do. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm happy he has it back. Like I said, because I did enjoy the look of it from the first one. But then once he broke it, I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're not going that route. Because I figured they were trying to diss him, like, hey, like, we get it in the first one, like, we kind of made him the new Darth Vader character. But then I thought in the second one, by smashing it, they were like definitely saying like, no, he's not Vader. And like, that's part of the reason why he smashed it too. Like the Supreme, like he idolized Darth Vader. And so when the Supreme Leader told him like, you're kind of nothing like Vader, and he got mad and smashed the helmet. So like, I figured like that was the writer's way of saying like, he's not Vader. Like he's officially, like we're not gonna make him the Vader of this universe. Like he's gonna be different, which he is. He completely is in his own right. But I don't know, giving it back. We'll see what happens. See how it looks. Another thing from that is then we get that shot of Poe, Finn, C-3PO. I'm trying to visualize in my head. I think maybe Rose was on there. They're on some sort of speeder, and Poe looks like Poe's dressed like Nathan Drake from Uncharted. You don't know who that is? It's a video game. It's amazing. Play it. So yeah, so it's like it looks like they've all teamed up to do some sort of mission. Like I said, I think Rose was there. I'm not 100% sure. I only watched because I snuck the trailer in at work. So I was only going to watch it like 2 or 3 times. And plus I was working, so I didn't fully retain everything like I wanted to. Like when I get home from this, I'm gonna watch it like 20 more times to really sink into it. But yeah, I think she was on there, so it's gonna be them on some sort of mission. Like, hey, that's cool. They're the they're the B plot, I assume, because I imagine especially here at the last one of this saga, it's gonna be heavily focused on Rey and Kylo Ren, and like they're gonna be at the crux of it, and then like the Poe Dameron, Finn, Rose, 3PO, Leia, all them, they're gonna be like the B plot, doing whatever they need to do to help Rey move along. Like they're gonna be the ones like, like, okay, we're gonna we'll bring down the force field so you can sneak in and, do whatever you need to do. And then that's gonna lead to the boss battle of Rey versus Kylo Ren. But yeah, it looks like they're gonna be the, the sidekicks, the comic relief. I remember I remember seeing in the first poster image that released a couple weeks ago, we see 3PO holding Chewbacca's not crossbow. I mean, it looks like a crossbow, but it fires a laser. There's a word, fuck, I hate myself. I hate myself for not being able to think of this name right now. What is the thing? What is it called? What is Chewbacca's weapon called? This is gonna kill me. I don't remember. I'm just gonna say crossbow. His crossbow weapon. And so this might be how that happens. I still don't think they're gonna, like, I still don't think C-3PO is gonna suddenly turn into a badass like we did with, like we saw with, the robot from Rogue One. I'm blanking on names right now. It's been a long week. I had a really long and tough week at work, and I'm just mentally drained at the moment. It starts with a K. I don't know, whatever. I don't see C-3PO turning into, like, suddenly having a personality change and turning to that. I just think it was just a cool image they did for the poster, because it looks like C-3PO and R2 are going to be, like, you know, more quote-unquote out in the field for this movie. So I'm sure there's just a moment in the movie where, like, yes, C-3PO has his blaster, and, you know, maybe gets a shot or two off, does some, you know, something funny, something stupid, and they just thought it'd be something cool to put on the poster. It's like, hey, you see 3PO holding a weapon. We never really see that. But yeah, I don't think from the very limited amount of screen time we saw of C-3PO in this trailer, I don't think he's gonna suddenly turn into, like, some sort of soldier or anything like that. I just think it was a thing. From there, what else I want to talk about? What else happened in this trailer? I'm recapping it in my head. Got a lot. Oh, of course. So throughout the trailer, we get some narration from Luke Skywalker. So, you know, he's gonna be, you know, as if you recall, he in the Force Awakens. I mean, sorry, not the Force Awakens. In the Last Jedi, he died. You know, he died. By which I mean, like, he did the Obi-Wan thing from the very first Star Wars. He, like, gave himself up to the Force. You know, it's like where your whole body disappears, that kind of thing. So now looks like he's gonna be the disembodied voice talking to Rey. And so we get him narrating throughout it, and then he has this line at the end that I forget again. I wish I remembered exactly what happened, but he gets this line at the end where he sets it up perfectly for the shot we see, which is a shot of Rey. I believe it's Rey, Poe, and Finn standing on the edge of some cliff or mountain, whatever, and they look off into the distance, and you see the Death Star. Not in the sky like a fully functioning Death Star. No, you see, like, the remains of it from when Luke blew it up twice. Like, because you can make out, like, it's kind of like a crescent moon piece sitting on the ground in the ocean, and, like, you can make out, like, the part where the laser was, you know, that, like, that indentation, kind of like that concave satellite kind of thing. And you see that, and then the trailer cuts to black, and you hear Palpatine laugh. You hear Emperor Palpatine. And I heard that, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Because, like, of course you remember in the third original Star Wars movie, Return of the Jedi, you get Vader, you know, it's Luke, Vader, and the Emperor. Vader threw the Emperor off some scaffolding, and he fell to his death, or, you know, presumably fell to his death there. But then they blew up the Death Star, is the other thing. Like, that scene took place on the Death Star, which again then blew up. But I mean, of course, this is a sci-fi action adventure movie. You can do whatever the fuck you want. There's no rules. So I mean, sure, bring him back, but I mean, I don't know how the hell you're gonna justify this. So I get that he had very great force powers, but still, like, I've seen Les kill other Jedi, you know, like, I don't understand. So yeah, Vader throws him off the scaffolding. He falls a great distance to again, supposedly his death. But even if that didn't kill him, he somehow survived the fall. Like, so he's either dead or unconscious and fucked up at the bottom of, you know, at the bottom of this thing, and then the Death Star exploded. Like, how is he alive? It's like, you think, I don't know if he's actually gonna be in this movie, or if that was just like a creepy little thing they did, like, just for fun, like they just wanted to use his voice, because maybe there's gonna be some sort of callback to him, or I saw this trending on Twitter, like this now gives fuel to the rumor, the rumor that Rey might be a Palpatine. I don't see that. Based on the name of the movie, Rise of the Skywalker, I'm pretty sure Rey's gonna be a Skywalker. Maybe, I don't know. No, because that doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that now? Like, you made this whole point of her in the second movie, you know, like, there's the whole mystery in the first one, like, oh, who are her parents? You know, like, left her there. You can see that mystery in the second one, but then she gets her answer. You know, like, because Kylo Ren knew it as well. It's like, your parents were no ones. They were just drunks and they're dead, you know, somewhere, blah, blah, blah. So, like, yeah, that's cool with me. Like, everyone wanted her to be someone. Like, oh, maybe she's a Kenobi, maybe she's a Palpatine, maybe she's a Skywalker. You know, like, who is she? Duh. Like, no, she can be no one. She's just you know, she's just the next chosen one. Like, she doesn't have to be related to them. I'm like, that's cool with me. So, like, I really don't think it's gonna be her who's gonna be, like, they're gonna do Rise of the Skywalker. You know, so I don't think it's, if there is indeed another Skywalker, I don't think it's gonna be her. If I had to guess as to what the title was alluding to, I would guess that it's either alluding to the fact that since Luke is now gone, and, like, you know, he's become one with the Force, that, like, you know, it's like Obi-Wan said, you strike me down now, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. So I think maybe it's alluding to something like that now that he's gone and become one with the Force, now he can, like, really guide Rey and possibly reach Kylo Ren. You know, maybe it's something like that. Or maybe, or my other option B is that maybe they're alluding to, like, the Skywalker heritage of Kylo Ren, because Kylo Ren's real name, of course, is Ben Solo. So, you know, his dad was Han Solo, who he killed, and his mom is Princess Leia Skywalker, who, you know, even the rest in peace Carrie Fisher, dead in real life, Princess Leia in the movies is still alive, although they could have easily killed her in the other movie with the whole Mary Poppins thing, yada yada yada. Anyways, so yeah, I think maybe that the title might be alluding to, like, his Skywalker heritage, because, you know, like, throughout the Star Wars saga, the Skywalkers have been the good guys. You know, like, there's never been an evil, well, I guess an evil full-out Skywalker, kind of, sort of, because, like, even Vader, like, you know, Vader turned good in the, like, Vader was good, well, I guess not Vader, Anakin was good through, you know, the first, the Phantom Menace. He was good through Attack of the Clones, and he only went evil at the very end of Revenge of the Sith. And then we get him, you know, in the originals, and yeah, but he has his redemption story in the end, you know, where he threw the Emperor off the scaffolding to save his son Luke. So, like, even he turned good. He didn't make it through those original three, all evil. So I'm guessing maybe it's gonna be something like that for Kylo Ren, Ben Solo. So, like, maybe if he doesn't die in this boss fight with Rey, maybe he's, you know, she's gonna be able to convert him. Although I kind of hope she kills him, but we'll see. But yeah, anyway, those are just my theories on what the title might be alluding to. So yeah, that's my little spiel about that trailer, because it's awesome. I, again, can't wait. I'm gonna see this opening Thursday night in LA. First showing I can to avoid spoilers. I'm hyped as fuck. I love Star Wars. Let's get it. Next thing I want to talk about is I'm just going to take a second to vent about my week. I talked about it earlier for a minute. Like, I had a rough week. I had a rough week. You know, don't get me wrong, every week at work is pretty rough just because my job is pretty emotionally and mentally draining. But man, was I busy this week. It took it to a whole other level. Especially because there were multiple days this week where my co-workers slash teammates were out sick or on vacation or I don't know what. But and there were days where it was just me, and so everything was falling on me. And just, man, emails. I probably, this week might be the most emails I've ever sent in my life in any capacity. Maybe. I know I've had some busy weeks in the past that might rival it. I don't know. But this week was just murder. And it's just, man, thank God for that Star Wars trailer, among other things. Because, man, when you're just getting beat down like that, it is hard to stay positive. And yeah, like, I don't know, you could probably see it a little bit on camera right now. Last week I had a tattoo session, so like I'm still healing right now. I'm actually on my way home right now to take this thing off. I keep my arm wrapped for 6 days. Maybe you can kind of see the wrapping a little bit. It's all down here. But so yeah, so while I'm healing and have my arm wrapped, I can't work out or exercise really, because really I can't bend my arm much because of the wrap to begin with. And then B, I don't want to sweat because that's how you get an infection. So yeah, so like I just haven't had that that boost of added adrenaline or endorphins I get from working out as well. So I don't know, I've just been kind of down all week. But like I said, I get to take this thing off when I get home, so then I'll be back to my normal routine, so that should help. Because yeah, I mean, well, one good thing I guess you could kind of say about that not being able to work out and whatnot is that when I get home now, I can just instantly relax. Like, that was kind of cool. Like, I had to catch up a little bit on TV and video games. I was able to beat Devil May Cry 5, which is great. I've always been a huge fan of the Devil May Cry series. 5 is just another notch in the old belt. It's a great game, love it. Where I would rank it among the Devil May Cry series, third best maybe. There's 5, technically 6 with DMC, which I thought DMC was great too, by the way. I know a lot of people hate on that. I don't understand why at all. I thought it was really good. But yeah, well, I would probably rank this new one. I'd probably rank this one as my third favorite. Just because like it's really hard to beat the original. It's really hard to beat 1 just because it's the first. Like, it's what kicked off everything. It's like because you up until then you know absolutely nothing about it. Like, you just know, oh, it looks cool. I wonder how this is gonna be. I'll play it, and then you play it, and it's amazing. So it's like, oh, like that's what kickstarts the addiction. You know, it's like, oh, I want more, I want more, I want more. So it's hard to kind of top that first hit, that first high. So like, I don't know if 1 will ever be dethroned, but yeah, 1 is probably my favorite. And then, a lot of people give me shit for this too. I have 4 as my second favorite Devil May Cry. The introduction of Nero. Because Nero is also one of the stars in 5. In 5 you play as 3 different characters. You play as Dante, of course, the OG. You get Nero, again, making his return from 4. And you get this character, V, who, spoilers, by the way, I'll give you a second in case you really want to hear this. Spoilers for Devil May Cry 5. V turns out to be Virgil, although I don't know how you don't see that coming. So yeah, in the game, Virgil, the story of the game is Nero. One day, someone shows up. Nero gets his arm. Nero has a devil arm, a demon arm, his right arm, and someone shows up and cuts it off, and then when they pick up his severed arm, it turns into Yamato, which is the sword of Dante's older brother Virgil. And we're not supposed to know that it's Virgil who did this to him, but it's fucking Virgil. I don't know how you don't see this coming. And then it turns out, as you play the game, you learn that Virgil Virgil's like Dante, half human, half demon. And so what Virgil does is Virgil figured out a way to separate his demon form from his human form. And so his demon form is this giant badass demon name that for the game they call Urizen, I forget. And then his human form takes the name V. And then in the end, you know, we find out that they're one and the same. And V is actually, so like you think V is a good guy, like he's trying to defeat his demon form or whatever, but it turns out he's an asshole and he's just trying to merge back with it and then, you know, take over the world or whatever the fuck, which he attempts to, but of course, you know, Dante and Nero stop him. But yeah, fuck, what was my original point? I knew I was defending 4 as my second best choice, and then I kind of went off on that tangent. I don't remember, but anyways, yeah, I put 4 as my second one. And yeah, fuck, I really went off the rails there. I completely forget what my original point was. But yeah, anyways, getting back to my original point of, you know, benefits of not being able to go home and work out like I normally do, was that, yeah, it gave me time to beat Devil May Cry 5, which again, great, go play it. And got to catch up on some TV. So like I watched some more. I've couple, like, I guess what am I now? 2 or 3 months in to rewatching all of One Piece, just because it's been so long and I felt like it. So I put some more time into that, got some episodes done. I'm on like episode 144, I think. To anyone who's seen this show, I'm at the part where the last episode I watched an episode last night. Episode I watched last night was where it was a little one-off kind of side thing where Luffy has just freed the kingdom of Alabasta, and now they're on this one little island to stock up and get supplies, and Usopp finds this old man and his granddaughter making fireworks, and so he's helping them make fireworks. It was a nice little one-off kind of thing. That's where I'm at in that. And so yeah, it was, like I said, I got to watch that. I watched the new episode of the Twilight Zone, which, okay, I'm gonna talk about this for a bit now. The new Twilight Zone, so far, really good. Watch it. Like, I specifically signed up for CBS All Access just for this. I'm a huge fan of the original Twilight Zone, and so when I saw the new ones coming out, like Jordan Peele, and just watching the trailers, getting a general vibe for us, like, this looks like something that's gonna be right up my alley, and it is so far. Anyways, like I said, the first 2 episodes were great, loved them. Watched the 3rd last night. It's good. It starts off very Twilight Zone-y. It's a story. This story is about it's this mom taking her son to college, like he's going away to college, so, you know, she's driving him to his first day, and she has this old video camcorder that she's always recorded his like big like moments in life, like, you know, his first steps, first day of school, all that crap, yada yada yada. So, you know, first day of college, you know, she wants to get that on too. And she finds out that this thing has the power to rewind time for, I don't know, they never really set out if it's just for her or if it's whoever's holding it, because she's the only one who's ever holding it and used it. So I'm not sure, they don't exactly explain how it works. But anyways, you know, you press rewind and you go back to it's like you go back to when you, like, the last moment you started recording, or like the last time you pressed stop. I forget exactly which it was. But so yeah, so like, and the episode is her driving her son to college, and as they're driving there's this racist cop. The mother and her son are black, and they're driving to to what appears to be a predominantly black college, and there's this white racist police officer who they see in a diner that is just like constantly stalking them throughout the episode. Like, no matter what they do, like, he's there and he's fucking with them. Like, they'll try and take a different route, he still eventually finds them. Like, they meet him in, like, this episode starts off in the diner, so whenever she hits rewind and goes all the way back, she goes back to the diner. And so, like, they're in the diner and he's there in the diner, and like she tried like going up to him, being nice in the diner, like buying him food and like making friendly conversation. And like it seems like he's being friendly at most points, like he's being cordial and whatnot. But no matter what, in the end, he's always a racist asshole. And so like no matter what she does is that. And then so you know, the episode's about her and her son trying to, you know, avoid this police officer. But no matter what she does, something bad always happens, where they get arrested, or there's a couple where the son gets shot and whatnot, yada yada yada. And the point is, it always ends badly. So, you know, it's a story about that. And so what the solution ends up being, and again, spoilers, I'll give you 5 seconds to mute or whatever. Spoilers, the way the episode ends is that apparently the route to college takes her past her old childhood home, where now only her brother lives. She used to have, and we find out that she used to have, I think it was 2 other brothers and possibly a sister. I think it was. Anyways, all her other siblings were killed in that neighborhood. So, and I believe so was her father. Like, I think her father was killed in that neighborhood as well. I don't believe he died in Andrew College. I'm not 100% sure about him. But anyway, so like she's always avoided it. And like, so because of that, it's driven a pretty sizable rift between her and her brother. And like her son, the way the episode starts off is like her son is driving and he wants to go see his uncle, but she doesn't want to. But then when she eventually tells her son like what's going on, it's like I have this camcorder, it's magic and controls time, and I keep hitting rewind because we keep running this race car, blah, blah. The son's like, it's like, well, you know, it's the universe telling us like you got to go home. So they go home and they tell, and you see the uncle, her brother, and they tell him what's happening. He instantly believes them. Cool. That's the other thing. The son instantly believed her too. The son's like, yeah, mom's like, we got to go home. It's the magic of the universe. I don't know why you instantly believe this, but all right. If someone told me like, hey, I got this magic camcorder, I at least try and be like, okay, show me how this works. No, they don't even demand a demonstration. They're just in. Like, all right, cool. So yeah, so he's like, let's go home, tell the brother, blah, blah, blah. He believes him. And so he's then got this vaguely addressed encyclopedic knowledge of the neighborhood. Like they very thinly and vaguely address how he has this knowledge, but he does. Where he's taken him like through all these like back alleyways and through a sewer and shit, which he somehow has access to. And like it keeps cutting back towards between them ducking behind walls and shit, and like the cop slowly rolling through the neighborhood looking for them. Why this cop is stalking this family, by the way, like I know you're a racist asshole, but now you're in a predominantly black neighborhood. It's like there's other black people to fuck with. Why are you specifically keying on them? I know it's the Twilight Zone and it's, you know, it's TV anyways. So it's like, why is it happening? Because reasons. But you know, it's just something I was thinking about. But anyways, so, you know, like then finally they literally get to like the steps of the college. They get to the gateway of the college, and the cops still like they're literally like 2 steps away from victory, and the cops, you know, like freeze, you know, duh. And that's when they decided to make their stand. And this is where I have a problem with the episode. So the way it ends is on a very large racial commentary message. So the cop, like I said, they're like, it's the 3 of them, the brother, the mom, and the son, all like walking towards the gate of the college. And the cop says freeze, pulls out his gun, and they turn and make a stand. Like they give this impassioned speech, you know, like, you've been screwing with us, da 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 da. And like the son and her brother are both kind of like, just hit rewind, let's just try again. And you know, she's like, no, it's like, you've been this, that, and the other thing, yada yada yada. Why? You have no reason. My son is a good son, he's going to college. And she decides to hit record on the camcorder. So, you know, she's now recording the cop. And so, you know, so like now this is the new default point, you know, like she can't go back further to like back to the house or back to the diner or whatever. Like this is now your starting point. So, you know, like I said, like she's making her stand, and other cops show up at this time, because like, and they see that this cop has his gun drawn, so they all draw their guns. Also, I mean, I get it, it's a cool little thing, but it's also kind of weird that the primary racist cop who's been stalking throughout the whole episode, he carries an old school revolver, you know, a 6-shooter, whereas all the other cops have modern, I'm gonna assume, you know, 9mm. So like they get there and they pull out their all normal guns, and his ass is standing there with a 6-shooter. I'm just like, why? And another question, can you do that? Like, is that a thing you can do if you're a cop? Like, I know police are issued their weapon, but can you like fill out some sort of paperwork or whatever and be like, nah, I want to use this gun instead? Like, can you do that? I don't know. But it was just something that stood out as weird. I get it that like you want to differentiate this guy because, you know, he's the star of the episode and whatnot. By the way, I don't know the actor's name, but oh man, he played that role so well. Like, completely believable racist cop, which is a weird compliment to give someone. But seriously, oh, like, he played the villain perfectly. Like, I hate him throughout this. I'm like, you fucking asshole. Like, he killed it. But anyway, so yeah, so like I said, cops get there, they all have their guns, he makes a speech, and then all the other people who are there for college, like all the other parents and students and whatnot, they all pull out their phones and they're recording and whatnot. And, you know, it's pretty accurate as to what would happen today. And, you know, so like then all the cops stand down, like, you know, like, okay, we can't do anything, like, you know, we'll get them next time. Like, we can't do anything now because there's too many of them. They all have their phones out and they're recording. It's like, kind of thing. But so it's just the way the episode is resolved is very non-Twilight to me, and that's my problem with it. Very non-Twilight Zone-y. Because, like I said, it ends with this racial commentary where, you know, it's like, yo, you know, cops, Black Lives Matter. Which, by the way, you see that in the episode. When you go to the uncle's house, he has a Black Lives Matter poster up in there. Like, okay, thank you, Captain Obvious. But, but so yeah, it's like, I totally get that. Don't get me wrong, completely down with the message. You know, but it's just, like I said, it's just not, the ending is un-Twilight Zone-y for me, because as someone who loves the original Twilight Zone, like, and if you watch even the first 2 episodes of this new one, the way you resolve an episode of the Twilight Zone is there's usually some sort of supernatural method to it. Well, I guess not they're all not super, but like some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Some sort of over the top-ish kind of resolution. Not, I guess, I mean, but like it works within the confines of the world they've set up in that episode of the Twilight Zone. So like, I'll give you an example. Whereas like, from the very first episode of this new season, it's the episode with Kumail Nanjiani. He's a comedian, he's a stand-up comedian, and it turns out whenever he's on stage, whoever he talks about on stage, if he says your name, you disappear from existence. No one ever knew you were there. Only he does. Only he retains the memory. So he starts talking about people he hated or like bullied him in his life and yada 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 yada. But then at the end of the episode, he realizes, you know, like he's kind of become what he hates. His power's out of control, and he talks about himself. And the way the episode ends is, you know, like he talks about himself and he makes himself disappear. You know, like he tells a joke about himself, talks about his name, and then like we just see the mic drop, like he's disappeared. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's an ending of where like he used the power. Whereas like in this one, they didn't use they specifically didn't use the power of the rewind or anything else for that matter to resolve the issue. Like she didn't figure out how to use the rewind to her advantage to win this. You know, what won it was, you know, was just, you know, standing up against oppression, you know, like standing up to racism and bigotry and hatred and all that, which again, I'm all for the message. It's just, like I said, it's just not Twilight Zone-y. I would have preferred it if she had somehow used, you know, her, in this case, supernatural ability, gift, whatever you want to call it, to resolve it. You know, it just, like I said, but it just struck me as a little odd. It's like, oh my God, it was good, but you know, it wasn't Twilight Zone-y, but you know, still good. Absolutely great episode though. I would definitely not of this new series, not the strongest. I'd probably rank them in order, whereas the first one, the second one, then the third one. And yeah, but like I said, good episode, just not Twilight Zone-y. But yeah, absolutely watch it though. All 3 episodes are great though. Like, you know, better than so much other stuff that's on TV right now. Like I'll take that over so much. Absolutely go watch it. CBS All Access, worth it. I'm also gonna use this app to watch the new Star Trek now. I've heard very good things about my dad. So when I got the app, I told my dad about it, and so he's on there, and he's binging the new Star Trek, and he loves it. and I've always loved Star Trek as well. I just got to get around to watching this new one now that I have access to it, and heard great things. Excited to watch that. And yeah, and I think that's where I'm gonna end this episode. A lot of random shit, huh? A lot of me incoherently rambling about everything. But yeah, so next episode probably gonna be a couple days from now. We'll see what happens. Like I said, that's the beauty of the way I do this. I can do whatever the fuck I want. But next week as well, if everything works out, fingers crossed, I'm gonna have a guest who this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, I'll put it that way. If everything works out, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, again, thank you all for tuning in and watching. I'm Andrew Francis again. You can follow me on Twitter at KingFranchise88. Same on Instagram. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.